Hey guys, Basil and Will from GraysonHobby, and today we're going to do a tutorial on the Jumper radio. We're going to show you how to get rid of the box.
Ditch the box. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah.
We're going to get rid of the external module and get the internal module assembly that can actually be purchased separately for those of you that have the older version with the external module. So we'll be able to put the internal module in and get rid of the external module altogether, which frees us up a port for R9s, Crossfires, etc.
Right. And if you already have the external module, don't cry and don't start cursing yourself and saying, oh, I should have waited, because this...
Yeah, that's a module that sells separately for like 40,
right.
45 bucks, which can go in the back of a QX7.
Right.
So if your buddy's over there crying that he didn't buy his Jumper T16 and he's stuck with the QX7, X9D, etc., you can sell him your module so he can join the cool kids club with the external module.
All right, so we already kind of spilled the beans, but we're going to show you how to open the radio up, take all the screws out, and install the internal module.
Yeah, for those of you guys that are with very basic tools, we'll get you into this, getting the internal module installed. It's very easy to do. Just take your time, go slow, pay attention to what you're doing, and it's a very quick install for even people with basic hand tool knowledge.
Right. So the tools you're going to need is a screwdriver, a jackhammer, a drill press, a miter saw, and a table saw.
Or, realistically, a 2.5mm Allen wrench and a small Phillips head screwdriver.
That's it. All right, here it is. All right.
All right.
Hey, before you start, that is my personal radio.
Yes.
Be gentle.
Okay. Well, mine's already been done.
All right.
So we're good.
All right. So let's start off here. Ricky got some foam I see you put down there.
Yeah, I just put some foam down so the gimbals aren't laying on it.
Right.
That'll be good. Plus, it'll keep them sliding around for the video.
All right.
So, basically, the first thing we're going to do is remove the module.
Okay.
Here. I'm going to put that aside. Going to take the battery out.
So, what can you do with that module?
We'll eventually put that in another radio.
Ta-da!
Yeah, I mean, mine's in my QX7.
Okay.
So the module fits. I just had to like trim the corners about 1 millimeter or so because it was just a little snug in the corners. Just took a little file, went pass on each corner, and it fit right in.
So the advantage of that module is what?
Well, now I have the multi-module in the Tyrannus.
So you can do this basically Spectrum airplanes that we fly, right?
Yeah, the Spectrum and Fly Sky and all the toy protocols.
All right, so if you ever, it's not a hopeless cause. You could sell this or give it to a buddy or... Yeah,
this module, you'll find other vendors are selling a multi-module like this for like 40, 45 bucks easy online. So it's actually nice to have. Personally, I'm actually glad that I bought the earlier one and then got the upgrade because the upgrade right now is super cheap in comparison. All
right, so let's get to it.
So got that. We're going to take the grip cheeks.
I must have started, let's see. Take off the module and you took off the battery tray.
Now that we have the module out and the battery out, we're going to pull the SD card out too, just so it doesn't get snagged on anything. And you got to have really tiny hands for this. If I can get it out. Can't even get it out. There we go. All right, so we got the SD card out. I'm going to put all that to the side. And then we're going to take the grip cheeks off the side. You just literally... So we're going to take the rubber panels off the side. We're going to take these ones off as well.
Okay.
So I'm just literally... They just pop up.
And keep, like he's doing, keep the left to the left and to the right to the right. So that way...
So that's that there. And then there is, I believe, 6 screws here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
6 screws here, and then we'll have 2... at the top. I think you should be able to see in this video with a 2.5mm Allen wrench, I believe. We'll get those, and that's how we'll take the back of the case off.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and take these screws out.
So while you're doing that, I've been using my Jumper radio for since we got them. Like,
yeah, you used yours before I started using mine, and I was like, okay, I kind of like this radio. And
I'm starting to get with the iNav and all that telemetry stuff, and it's really cool to have that stuff on there. Now the weather's kind of breaking here. It's not 1,000 degrees anymore. All right, so they look like they're not too tight. So.
No, they're not really giving any resistance at all.
I'll drop it right there.
Yeah. If you have a magnetic screwdriver, awesome. You will need a fairly narrow screwdriver to get down in the bottom ones. It doesn't really matter much on the top.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and tilt this over and get these screws out.
Okay, keep them all together. We don't want to get mixed.
And then at the top, I'm going to remove these 2. So this is the USB port panel. And that will just lift up.
Okay, so now we're in.
And I'm going to lay it back down for you guys. Lift up here, and there's nothing on that side, so you don't have to worry about accidentally pulling something off.
I had my
X9D and all that. Yeah, when we did the gimbals on that was a nightmare.
Get it. All right, so here's the insides if you haven't seen one yet.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this kit out to show you guys. The kit is going to involve the module, the antenna, replace another antenna, and 2 screws. Okay. And that's all there is to this little kit.
Okay.
So in order to do this board is the same as this one in here. And all you're going to do is take the blank board out and replace it with the populated board.
All right. It's amazing. This little guy has all that frequency and technology in it.
So there's 3 screws here. 1, 2, 3. And I dropped it in there. So you want to make sure you don't tug on the wires. You go from the edges to get it unplugged. And I can't even get that. So I'm going to hold all of them at once and then slightly go.
Okay.
Don't pull on any one wire because then you'll damage it. Now we got a screw down in there. Again, if you have a magnetic screwdriver, it helps.
All right,
but
so there it is. So there's
our 3 screws.
Okay.
And you'll notice the board, again, it looks like it was supposed to have those parts. So they originally intended on having an internal as well. And then they didn't on this one. This is just a placeholder, basically, to transfer the pins. So now we got this one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install the antenna mount prior to mounting this board, just make it a little easier.
All right. So
so there's this little rubber grommet in here.
Okay.
We're going to pull that out.
That's the part that came with the radio,
yeah,
right?
that's part of the radio.
All right.
Now I'm going to take my 2 new screws that came with the module. I'm going to drop it in here, and you'll see there's actually 2 little flats on this. You'll put it in there, and that's just to keep it from rotating. And then take the Phillips head screw, drop it in there, screw it down till it's snug.
That looks pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, there's not much to this one.
Right.
Screw it down, and that's it. And it might bow a little bit the way they did it. I'm almost wondering if that plate should have been the other way, but it's glued from the factory. So, and I've seen a couple of other people pictures and all that online. So, and they're all showing it that way.
Okay, so it does have a little bow, but
yeah, I think that's just depending on how much.
That's just mechanical, right?
But that's keeping tension on it. Yeah. So, now it does have those little tabs to keep it from rotating. But guys, if you mount your antenna and you just really try to over tighten it, yes, you can break those little tabs and it will keep spinning. If you do that, you run the risk of twisting this wire up in here and breaking it. So just remember, when you screw your antenna on, just do it till it stops. You don't have to over tighten it.
Don't get a pliers.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave that off just for the sake of this video.
All right, so we got that done. That looks pretty good.
All right, now I'm gonna plug this cable back in to the new board. And make sure you plug it in straight. If you go on an angle or anything like that, you might run the risk of damaging a pin.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to drop that there. Leave that there. I'm going to take the 3 original screws. And
so those 2 screws are for the antenna, and you're going to reuse.
The 2 screws that come with the kit is for the antenna.
And everything else you're going to reuse.
Yeah. Well, the only thing you're not going to reuse is the module and the little rubber grommet.
Okay.
And the original board that was blank. So I'm putting all 3 of these screws in before I tighten it down.
Yeah.
That way it lines up. And then now that all 3 are in, I'm just going to go till they stop. You don't need to over torque them.
Because you'll crack that.
Because you can crack the plastic.
Yeah.
Which, if you did, not the end of the world, because you could get replacement plastic pieces together. This is a good time to make sure your plugs are all plugged in or anything like that.
Okay.
Really, and one thing I actually want to comment here while we got this apart is how nice this is, because everything's pretty much modular. If you break a switch, it's a board with a little with a ribbon cable. If you break the USB port off, or the headphone jack, or the trainer jack, it's a module. So that's nice, because that's one thing that always scared me, because that was permanently attached to the motherboard on some of the other radios. And yes, this is the older style USB because it's more robust. It's less likely to break than the USB 2. It'd be nice if they made a USB-C. If anybody's out there making aftermarket parts, that would be actually kind of cool if that could be made into a USB-C. Maybe Jumper can make a version like that, because that's the new standard now. But now that we got that together.
So I guess also this is how you adjust your gimbals. Like
yes, how you adjust your gimbals is in here. The tension, the spring tension adjustments and all that. And then this is for the ratchet right there, either smooth or ratchet.
Okay.
All right, so now that we got that there, it's just a matter of putting this guy back together. And we're literally just gonna drop this plate here. And remember, keep in mind that those pins are there, so you don't wanna like slide across, you need to drop it straight on. Otherwise you can run the risk of damaging the pins.
Okay.
Get the little port down here. So we got that.
Notice he's going slow. He's not forcing it.
Yeah, don't force it. If you're forcing it, something's wrong.
Yeah.
What did you get? Super glue on yours?
Yeah.
That's how we know it's Basil's, guys. All right, so that's there. Actually, I want to check something because that's actually not going together as smoothly as it should. You hear that tab?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
what
everything.
What happened?
I don't know. Okay. All right. So we're putting this on, and we're lining it up. Got the connector there, the USB port, and then this. You got to keep in mind. And those two halves are together. There. Those just kind of lock in up there. So now that I got that, I'm gonna start putting screws in. And I'm going to go to the two on the sides here first. What I like to do is back up the screw till it kind of drops in and then screw forward. That way you're not cutting new threads into it. You're going back into the original threads.
So what do? You go backwards, like
so I actually,
loosen it up and then go back in?
So we drop it in.
Hold on, let me get a good shot here. All right.
So I'm dropping it in. And I like to just literally unscrew it, and then you'll feel it kind of dropping like a little click.
Okay.
And then you screw it. That way you're not cutting new threads, because these are self-tapping threads. You don't want to. If you continuously do that, you can wear out the plastic and then it ends up not gripping anymore. Okay. So I like to do that, and so back up.
Even
and
let it. Okay.
Basically, you're letting it find its old threads to grip into, because it's not a machine screw; it's a self-threading. Back up and then in. Right, so we got our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws back in. This is in the slot properly. It's not tilted to the side. If you do get a module kit, because they come in a bag, sometimes the pins will be offset a little bit. So that's one thing you just want to make sure when you put it together, you kind of line that up and it'll come into place on the case. So if you're running into any issues of fitment, it could be this little pin thing is actually bent a little to the side. Okay. So you want to make sure you straighten it up when you drop it in. Okay. So from there, all we're going to do is put the top cap on, and you'll notice I didn't twist this or anything like that. It's kind of on its natural curve. And oh, that's something I didn't look at.
What's that?
So these top ones, when you tighten the top screws, make sure the frame is lined up, because it actually can go out of place. Okay. So that's that.
So it's okay to put this in very last after this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you still want to put it in last just so everything's lined up. But so doing that, I made sure those are locked in together, because they kind of hold themselves together. And then you got the USB port there, you see it got there, so I'll line it up. Again, put it straight down on it, don't try to go across it. And then take the 2.5mm Allen wrench.
Back it up a little bit.
Back it up.
Oh yeah, that's easy to see with this bigger one. Alright.
And go ahead and put the antenna on so I don't forget.
Now, unlike a VTX, it's okay to turn it on without that, right? Or should you turn it on with it?
It has a little bit of cord inside, so it shouldn't kill it, but it's not a good idea.
Alright, so we'll close that up right there.
Yeah.
Alright.
So that's that. Now I'm going to drop the grip cheeks, and you see the little side cuts in them, so you're going to drop it in and then push straight down.
Let me get that again over here. So in, straight down.
And then straight down, push it, and that's that. And then on the side cheeks.
Any tips?
The back side.
Backside cheeks go first.
You have problems, man.
Okay.
I guess you could actually, let's try it going the other way too. Yeah, actually, either way,
right.
just literally just push them in. They just kind of go in. Actually, you know what? I like that better. I'm gonna take this one out. So I'm literally just gonna push it in, and it kind of clicks in. The little rubber grip.
Okay.
Now we got that.
SD card.
Last thing here is the SD card. Now the little contact points go up towards the top of the radio. You drop it in.
That's a pain right there. I get that guy.
You push it in until it clicks.
Right.
I just use my fingernail. If you got sausage fingers, then you may have trouble with that. But other than that, you're good there.
Get your yeah.
And then the battery. Oh wow, those are really fancy. Look at that.
Yeah. So you just twisted it up, right?
Yeah, I just twisted it up so it's out. That. Put this on, and now the module can still plug in. It's not going to hurt anything by leaving the module, so you don't have to leave it blank. You can just put the module back in. Okay. But there's kind of no point in it anymore.
But I don't need it. Will it drain battery?
It doesn't. I mean, it's going to be turned on right now.
Okay.
Switch warning.
Got every switch up. All right. So one thing you got to remember when you're in this now, instead of using external RF, you're going to have to use internal RF. So I'm going to go ahead and turn.
Not that one. That's R9. So go to the different model.
Yes. Well, I'm going to show you. So this particular radio, he had his R9 module in it. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you guys. We're going to turn off external, and then we're going to go to internal, and then multi, and then say Free Sky, D16, etc. So now we're going to actually use the internal module instead of the external. So that video you saw before us about the emergency mode with the internal issue, guess what? Pfft, out the window because technology.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it, guys. So now we have an internal module, T16.
So I don't want that module anymore.
You don't want your module anymore because Basil runs the R9.
Not everything, just some.
So the nice thing about the R9 having the internal module is now the whole point of this is now you can run your external modules without having to worry about forgetting this.
I forgot this one time and was screwed. I had to go fly nothing.
So now you can do your external module, Crossfire, R9, etc. in the back of this thing and have the internal module in it. Yeah. For those of you that don't run external modules or anything, you can get like 3D printed plates. This is actually one I printed up. We may have these available soon on the site. Just check accessories and all that. If you guys are interested, let us know. We can probably make some of those up.
You like the color? Do you do
and
black?
Then these are just, if anybody's asking, these are the little King Kong LDARC gimbal covers. They're only a couple bucks. Really nice to have. I like the extra grip on that. And that's pretty much it.
And the phone is ringing.
All right, easy peasy. So that's all there was to it, guys. And remember, once you change the settings, or once you change the module out, you'll need to go through all your models currently on there and go from external module to internal module in order to get to work.
Right. This is going to save me because I was running both modules with my R9 if you have Crossfire, and I can't tell you how many times I almost left this at home and was kind of been screwed, couldn't fly. Yeah. And luckily I haven't been flying this long enough because this really just kind of came out. So, but yeah, so now I don't have to worry about this. I just keep the Crossfire or R9 in there and I'm good to go.
And actually for me it worked out really good because I don't use Crossfire or R9 on mine, but I do have a QX7S that I still use as well for other quads.
Or airplanes.
Yeah, and airplanes.
Especially airplanes.
I was able to put the module in that, so that saved me from having to buy a $50 module externally, and I was able to just do that. So I'm really happy with the fact that I went ahead and jumped the gun, got the T16 before the internal module was released.
Yeah,
but for those of you just now tuning in to the T16 and haven't heard of it before, which I don't know what rock you're under if you're in the quad world, but go ahead and buy it. It's nice.
Yeah.